Hey guys, this is Matt Kramer. I'm glad you're here tonight. I want to talk to you about some goal setting. We went over some really intense stuff in the 15K formula, and we're doing the new 2.0 version. And we went over some stuff that I feel like I've heard before, but I didn't really get to realize quite as strong as what I'd heard in the past. And there's tons of books that I've read, and all these different gurus and experts and people to tell me what I need to do to really become successful. And really, it's kind of like hard to understand. You have all these people telling you this thing, and you kind of like feel weird about doing it. And they give you these goals to say and these affirmations, and saying in front of your friends is always really uncomfortable. And you don't want to feel uncomfortable around your friends, but they've never been to see anything like that before. They don't know what you're doing. They don't know why you're saying these weird things or trying to be better, and it doesn't make any sense. And one of the things that happened to me today was I was talking to my buddy Steve, and he's been a good friend of mine for a long time. We've been working on some stuff, and he's someone that I met in a different industry doing something completely different. And when I told him about my experience last night and how we learned how to set goals and really visualize those goals and put them in first person and experience succeeding at that goal before the goal ever really happens, it was kind of took me out of my comfort zone a little bit. But what amazed me was the fact that, my buddy Steven actually, he understood. Like, he knew exactly what I was talking about. And he had been to conferences like that, and his dad had taken him to stuff and taught him about this. But he had never done it. And in fact, he kept this little card in his pocket, this little golden card with his goals on it. And it was to remind him every day to look at these goals and remind himself so he can remember vividly what these goals were every day. So while he was living his life, he knew exactly what his goals were. And, sometimes you think you're the only one that ever does this stuff, the only person that ever goes through this process of learning goals and doing this kind of stuff. And you're not. People do this all the time. It's just the fact that you're one of the small percentage of people that actually does it. They actually read it every day. They actually verbalize it every day, and they do their affirmations. You can have 400 people learn the same thing, and you're lucky if 15 of them will actually do the exercise. And then you're lucky out of those 15 if 2 or 3 of them will actually do it for a 90-day period. And that's what really makes a difference between someone that's going to succeed and someone that's just going to beat around the bush. It doesn't matter what you're like. It doesn't matter if you're a redneck, a hillbilly, a city slicker, it doesn't matter if you're rich, you're poor. It doesn't matter if you're educated or uneducated. It matters about whether or not you're really willing to go for it and do what you need to do every day. You don't need to know what you're doing. You just have to be willing to do something. You just have to be willing to make massive action every single day. And that's just what I want to get across today. Is I've been doing really good. I've been doing fantastic, but this is something that some people and myself have had a lot of trouble really getting through to my head. But it's not about what you know, it's about what you're willing to do. Because if you have it in your mind that you want to do something, you can make it happen. I mean, there's kids every day that talk their parents into the craziest stuff because they're not willing to say no. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything. It could be, going to Disney World or getting a lollipop. Once they get in their mind that they want it, they're going to do it no matter what. And they're going to ask everybody. they're going to ask their mom first. And when she says no, they're going to ask their dad. And then they're going to go back to their mom and say, well, dad said yes. And she says, well, no. And then they're going to go back to their dad and they'll say, well, mom said yes. And then they're going to go to their grandmother. And then they're going to say, please, 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 please. And they're going to do everything they can until they get what they want. And to be honest, that's what makes you successful. Is being a little kid. It's just doing it. Asking for what you want all day long and not accepting anything but that. Don't accept anything but exactly what you want. And it is so hard to visualize. And it's hard for everyone at first. But you can do it. You can do this. But you have to be willing to every day do those affirmations and repeat this stuff in your mind. That's the only way that you can do it. And yeah, it's tough. But if you really want to have what you want in life, you got to be able to do what other people are not willing to do. And if you're willing to do that, this is a piece of cake. Everything else is easy. If you're willing to do that one little thing, you're willing to just believe and make these affirmations and repeat this stuff that no one else has wanted to do, you can have anything you want in this life. This is Kramer. I'll talk to you next time. Have a great one.